Hello, guys. Welcome to Game 4 or Episode 4 of Learning Chess Classics. And in today's game, I will be showing you a game played in 1874 between Knorre with the white pieces and Chigorin with the black pieces. Now, guys, again, this game was played in 1874 where technology was not so advanced and we did not have engines. So, over here, let's deep dive into the game and we will see how Chigorin showed outstanding attacking skills compared to that year 1874 during those times, and we will see a crazy attack, and I'm sure you guys will enjoy the game. So the game goes as follows: e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, bishop c5, the normal Italian game. And after castles, knight f6, d3, and d6, white played the move bishop to g5, and it's a very logical move. You're pinning the knight on f6, and because black has played the move d6, you cannot get the bishop back to e7, and this pin can be very annoying. White has the normal plans: knight to c3, followed by knight to d5, and putting pressure on the f6 pin. Now over here, Chigorin played the move h6, and he is pushing the bishop back, and white played the move bishop to h4. Now here, Chigorin played the move g5. No, he's telling the bishop to go back to g3. And over here, it is important to note that knight into g5 does not work because after knight into g5, h into g5, bishop into g5, no, black has not castled yet. So generally after this, the white has plans of queen f3, knight c3, followed by knight d5. But these plans generally work when black has castled. But over here, since black has not castled, black can simply play the move rook to g8. The plan is to go to rook to g6, defending the knight, and with the open g and h files, black is completely winning this game. Hence, knight into g5 does not work over here. So white played the move bishop to g3. Now, in this position, black played the move h5. And over here, as you can see, black is completely ready to launch the attack. Both the bishop on c5 and the c8 bishop, they are perfectly well placed. They are well positioned. The bishop on c5 is looking at the f2 diagonal. The bishop on c8 is looking at the diagonal covering the h3 square. The black knight on c6 is ready to jump to d4. The black knight on f6 is well positioned. And with this move, h5, black is potentially setting up threats like, h5 and g5 over here. And, black is all set to launch an attack. Now, in the game, what was played was knight into g5, which is already a blunder, and black is winning. But before we proceed to the game, let us understand what is the correct line for white over here. The correct line that white should play, and even h3 does not work because after h3 you have this move h4, and after bishop h2 you have this very powerful move g4. And okay, like if you go h4, bishop g4, this is already very strong for black because you have knight d4 coming, you have h3 coming, and this is going to be the game is going to be over very soon. So in this position, the correct sequence for white is to play h4, and after bishop to g4, which is the move for black, it is very important for white to play the move over here c3. And and even over here, it is important to note that a move like h into g5 is also losing for white after the brilliant move h4. And guys, this is also game over because over here, after h4, white has no moves. For example, if you play a move like let's say g into f6, you have h into g3. The h file is open. The bishop is pinning the pawn on f2. The queen will capture the pawn on f6, and black is completely winning over here. So in the game, what white played was the move knight into g5, and over here he is putting pressure on the f7 square. Now Chigorin played the move h4. The bishop over here is trapped, and white, as expected, played the move knight into f7, hitting the rook and the queen. Now, one interesting line over here is queen e7, and and black is definitely better over here. For example, after queen e7, white will take the rook on h8, And over here, after h into g3, black is winning because black has the plans of queen h7 and followed by queen into h2, which comes with a mate. So over here, for example, let's say if you play a move, you cannot take f into g3 because of this pin. So let's say you play a move like h into g3. Over here, you have queen h7, and let's say you play the knight to f7, trying to defend the knight. Over here, black plays the move knight g4, and you don't have any defense to queen h2 check over here. So, and this is completely, it's losing for white. But in the game, what was played over here, what Chigorin played, is the move h into g3, sacrificing the queen. Now, the black knight over here, it has two options. It can either take the rook on h8 or the queen on d8. Now, of course, the queen is more valuable, so you in the game, knight into d8 was played. But over here, if you take the rook on h8, again, the move queen e7 is very strong with the same idea to go to h7 and deliver a checkmate over here. And black is winning. And I will not cover this in detail in this video, but all the moves over here that white has, let's say knight f7 or even bishop to f7 check, all of these moves are losing and black ultimately wins because even over here, if you play a move like knight f7, you have d5, and if you play the move bishop to f7 check, over here instead king to d8, and over here the plan is very simple. Black is going to go queen to f8, followed by queen h6 or queen takes h8, and he is going to launch an attack in the king side, and black is completely winning over here. But in the game, what was played was the move knight into d8. So black has just sacrificed his queen, and over here the very important move over here is the move bishop to g4, attacking the white queen over here. And this was played in the game, and white played the move queen to d2. Now here black played the very nice move knight to d4. Now what is the plan for black over here? Black is planning to play knight to f3 check followed by rook into h2, which is a checkmate. So for example over here, let's say if white plays h into g3, then you have this move knight f3 check. After g into f3, bishop into f3, and you cannot stop the mate on h1. Similarly, if you play the move, let's say f into g3, you have knight e2 check, king to h1, knight g3 is a checkmate. And another way to checkmate over here is knight to f3, double check, and then king h1 and rook h2, which is again a checkmate over here. So the plan over here is to give is to give knight to f3 check. Now over here, the only defense for white is h3, and after h3, you have this move knight to e2 check. White has to give away the queen, and this position is equal, and this is playable as white. But in the game, what happened was in this position, white played the move knight to c3, and over here with knight f3 check, g into f3, bishop into f3, and white resigned because you cannot stop g into h2 mate. And if you play h into g2, you have rook h1 coming with a checkmate. So with this powerful attack, black, that is Chigorin, was able to win the game. And guys, again, you know that this was a game played in 1874. So the purpose of showing this game over here is to show that how in this position where bishop g5 seemed as a very logical move, black was able to launch a sudden attack over here with h6, bishop h4, g5. Now we saw why the knight cannot take on g5, and after a move like bishop g3, black played the move h5, and black was ready to launch a sudden attack, and white was not prepared for the attack. He was not prepared to defend such an attack. And we saw over here how with a move like knight g5, and after white takes the pawn on g5, white is already lost over here. After h4, there are numerous lines over here, and I have not gone through all the lines, but I have given you a brief idea that all the lines over here is winning for black. And over here, queen e7 is also an option. But what was played over here was h into g3. Now, whether the white knight takes the rook or the queen, Black is still winning, and after the move like knight d8, bishop g4, queen d2, we had the move knight to d4. Over here, h3 was the only defense for white to try and be to try and be in the game. But in this game, knight to c3 was played, and we saw a very nice and huge finish over here with knight to f3 check, gf3, bishop f3. So I hope you enjoyed this game, and if you like this game, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and we will be back again with game 5 very soon. Thank you.